So I think the whole internet woke up this morning heartbroken to find out that allegedly Leah Ashe has been cheating with Megan Play's husband. I know, this is trending on Twitter. That's how bad it is. And I was going to make this video last night, but I really want to take the time to get as much evidence as I can. And oh my god, I have found some information about the situation that nobody else has spoken about. And my goal with this video is to make just a completed video about the situation so that you can get a well-rounded perspective as to what has allegedly happened, different perspectives, comments, reposts, screenshots, videos, following lists even. A little sneak peek of what you guys are going to see. Her husband unfollowed her on Instagram and is still following Leah. Yeah, I did some deep digging for this video. And I want to clarify that everything I discuss in this video is speculation, okay? And for legal reasons, I can't say if it's true or not because, I'm not in a position to do that. And also, I don't want to start drama if it's non-existent. But with Megan in particular posting ominous messages about what has happened, I want to take a second to address them because there is what I believe to be a secret meaning in one of her comments or posts, that is very telling to the situation. Now again, I want to be very clear, nothing has been confirmed by anybody. More so Megan, just kind of with her videos, is kind of creating this narrative, I would say, around what has happened, and people are kind of speculating based on what she's posting. But I did want to take a second to say, for legal reasons, everything in this video is speculation. Nothing has been confirmed or denied. This is just speculation, and it's not intended to harm or harass anybody. Now, with that in mind too, please keep in mind that Megan is literally a mom. This isn't just a man and a woman being married, but there's a child involved, and that makes the whole situation, in my opinion, 50 times more difficult because you have a child together. And I would urge you guys, when you're commenting about the situation, please be mindful, because at the end of the day, yes, their kid is young, and she was born in 2024. And so, yeah, she is still relatively young, but within a couple years, she will be watching YouTube videos, I'm sure. And she doesn't need to come across a video of somebody calling her mom mean names and saying nasty stuff about her mom. And I've seen people saying that she deserved it. Are you guys crazy? Maybe I'm just getting too defensive, but Leah Ashe and Megan Plays quite literally raised me. They were my absolute favorite YouTubers. And so this whole situation has left me shocked and astonished. And I'm really hopeful that this is just some weird, messed up PR stunt. But with the stuff that's being posted, I am not sure. So anyways, also, people are always like, Pommy, why do you say I'm not sure? I don't know. It's called protective language for legal reasons. That's why I say that stuff, because I don't want to get in trouble. Anyways, getting straight to it. So I have spent hours collecting screenshots, and I received over 20 video requests for this video. And I was originally going to post it yesterday when I found out about it, because I had a YouTuber actually mention it to me. But I wanted to really take the time to do my due diligence, and I didn't just want to spit out a video without proper information. So, for those of you that don't know, Leah Ashe, who we'll refer to as Leah, and Megan Plays, Megan, have been friends for a very long time, and they're quite literally the foundations of Roblox YouTube. They really started kind of the girly gaming era, where they made a lot of dress-up content. They are very family-friendly, they were cutesy, and because they created such similar content, they actually started collabing a lot, and they made a lot of videos together. And so obviously their audiences became incredibly intertwined, and they would frequently post themselves in real life, hanging out, going to events together, and they even went as far as to make a girls' club YouTube channel, which was their shared YouTube channel where they posted content to it. Now, about 2 years they stopped posting to it. I'm not quite sure why. Looking at the amount of views this stuff was getting, I'm thinking it was probably more expensive to run than it was worth. I'm not quite sure though, that's just speculation. But what's interesting is when you have multiple YouTube channels, you can link the channels on your main channel. And Leah Ashe has this channel linked on her main channel, but Megan does not. That to me is very, very interesting. Now, to get straight to the beginning of the story, about 3 days ago, people started to notice that Megan Plays and Leah were no longer following each other on any of their social medias. And based on the information that I've just told you, you can tell these girls have been best friends for a long time, okay? Longer than some of you guys have been alive, right? And so for them to not be following each other, people thought maybe it's just a bug, maybe it's a glitch. But then Megan began to post these cryptic posts to Instagram and TikTok. This post, which was posted to Instagram 3 days ago, reads, "Make or break with a black heart." It's a picture of her, and the other slides, which is a carousel post, is of her and her daughter, a sunset, and basically just her and her daughter and herself. Now, I'm not going to post her daughter's face on YouTube. She posts her daughter's face publicly. That's her choice. But I just feel for this kind of video, does her daughter need to be in it? No. So we're just using this picture. But in this post, she's getting a lot of support from people in the comments and saying like, I hope you're doing okay. And what was interesting to me is if she's going through a hard time, why wouldn't her husband be in these posts? And that's what people started to clock. They're like, wait, if you're going through something that's going to make or break you, why is your husband not here? And so that really kind of started this rhetoric and narrative that something had happened with her husband. And with Leah unfollowing Megan, or Megan unfollowing Leah, we don't quite know what happened. It further says that there's some sort of issue going on with that dynamic, right? Now, in accordance with those posts, Megan began to post other content as well that was also a little bit, it alluded that something negative was happening. This post was reposted to her official TikTok account, which I don't want people will be like, oh, don't look at the reposts. If a massive creator with millions of followers reposts a ominous cryptic TikTok video, it's because they want people to see it. If she didn't want people to see this, she would have posted it to a private account, but the fact that she's reposting this tells me that she's going through a hard time, and she's trying to subtly communicate that she's going through something. Now this post reads, I don't care, but this is actually the state I'm in right now. And it's basically a slideshow or like a little collage of girls crying, curled up in balls on their bed, crying in a corner, and it plays really sad music. So obviously this is alarming. On top of this, there's a video she uploaded where she's basically lip syncing to an audio that says, it's okay, just forget about me. And it looks like she's been crying, which genuinely broke my heart. Like, to be like a human for a second, like to see someone that I have idolized for so long be upset and to be allegedly mistreated by someone so close to them, two people so close to them, is just, it's so sad, right? Like this is just such a terrible situation, and the fact that there's a child mixed in with it just makes it 10 times more difficult to navigate, and my heart really does go out to her. I think this is terrible. Now, in this video, she posts trending audio, which some people thought, okay, maybe it's just trending audio, but then this was accompanied by some other posts. This post was her singing along to a song by Fleetwood Mac, which is called Silver Springs. Now, I can't play the song because it's copywritten, but you guys can listen to me sing it. The lyrics go, I'll follow you down till the sound of my voice will haunt you. Give me just a chance. You'll never get away from the sound of the woman that loves you. Was I just a fool? Now, this song is typically used in breakup TikToks. It's typically used when people are going through a hard time in their relationship, and that's not me just speculating. That's what this song is used for. It's when girls, they broke up with their boyfriend. They're like, yeah, you'll never get away with the sound of the woman that haunts you, like blah, blah, blah. And it's meant to be kind of like a, look what you missed out on. I hope the poor decisions you make you feel bad kind of a thing. And at least that's how I interpret it, right? And she has angel numbers in this post, right? So this alludes that there's something going on, because why is she lip syncing to a breakup song if everything's okay? Now, on top of that, there was this other post, which I feel like this one is the most telling, where she lip syncs to an audio, which I believe is Leo Skepi's voice. He's a TikToker. And it's basically, which I actually wrote it down. It reads, I understand the position you were in. You described it to me perfectly. But if I was in that position, I still would not have done that to you. And that is a situation where you never have to grant forgiveness. And the caption of this reads, to either of you. So she's saying she doesn't have to grant forgiveness to either of them, which a lot of people speculated when she is referring to either, she's referring to her husband, which may now be her ex-husband, and Leah Ashe. Now, as I was recording this video, I've recorded this video 3 times because I keep stumbling. But as I was recording this, I got a notification that apparently her husband, which I keep referring to it as, Megan's husband, and that's not my intention. His name is Zach. But, I need to just remember that his name is Zach in my head, but I just feel like if someone's willing to cheat on their wife, allegedly, is their name worth remembering? I don't know, right? But Zach has actually unfollowed Megan on Instagram. And his last post was actually them going on a vacation 27 weeks ago for Megan's birthday. And that's the last post on his page. He has just all pictures of her on the page, but she's not followed by him, and he's not following her. What is going on? But he still follows Leah, the person that allegedly he had a relationship with. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe they're going through a hard time in their relationship, but it's so bizarre to me. Why would you unfollow your own wife? Why are you not following your own wife, but you're following Leah? Like, that kind of further reinforces the narrative that people are putting out, which again is just speculation. I can't confirm or deny it. Now, on top of that, on Instagram, people are going absolutely crazy, reposting and fabricating screenshots. So I do want to let you guys know, please be mindful of what you're looking at, because not everything is real. This is an example of a screenshot where I'm not sure if it's real. This is from a video where Leah and Megan are making a video together, and the audio is, I am me, you're Danny, we are not the same person, like that song. And this post by Aurora says, I always got you guys mixed up, still do. And Emmy says husband did too, and it's liked by Megan. Now, I want to be very clear, I'm not sure if this is real or not. I went to the video to try and find the comment and I couldn't find it, so I don't know. But when I did go to the comment section, I noticed there's a lot of other comments, and this one by Kara says, genuinely so awful what happened to poor Megan, and Megan liked it. So that tells me that the rhetoric that's going on is somewhat correct, and she is obviously going through a really hard time. And this reinforced it to me. This is not a fake screenshot. I took the screenshot on my own computer. This is in the comment section. So I know for a fact this isn't fake because I saw it with my own 2 eyes, right? So it's crazy to think that she's almost confirming what has happened. And to be fair, the only people that actually know what's going on is Leah, Megan, and Zach, to be very clear. And you know what I find interesting, there's a lot of people posting YouTube videos, more probably just because it's a hot topic, really just over dramatizing it and being like, guys, I have insider information and I know for 100% certainty that, you know, she did this and that this is true. And then people ask, oh, who'd you hear that from? They're like, I can't tell you. They don't want to be named. Miss Ma'am, and to all of you, I'm gonna be very blatantly clear. If you have, quote, insider information and the informant doesn't want to be named, that's probably because the informant is lying. Hate to break it to you, right? The only people that I think really know about the situation is, again, Leah, Megan, and Zach. Okay? Those are the only people that truly know what has happened because they're the ones directly involved with it. Anybody else claiming to know 100% with certainty what's going on, I think they're lying. And I'm going to put that out there. And I think it's, one, legally dangerous to say you know 100% that is true because you can get sued for that. And number 2, to portray to everybody that you know the secret information, but you won't tell them how you found it, and you could be just regurgitating a complete fabrication. And that's why I try to be very careful with the way that I word my videos, because this could all just be some, again, messed up PR stunt. Like, who knows? But to go out and say, this is 100% true and this is fact, when nobody has confirmed that publicly, you can't do that. Legally, that's not smart. And second of all, like, that's just misleading and it's unfair to everybody involved. Like, don't go around saying you know what's going on if you don't, please. But anyways, there's obviously lots of people in these comment sections. This person's saying, please tell me the rumors are fake. This person's saying, so sorry for you, Megan. What? Oh my God. This person's saying you should just date Flamingo. Guys, she has a child with this man. This is not the right time to be trying to set this woman up with Flamingo. What are you doing? Now, on the contrary, on Leah's page, there's a lot of people leaving incredibly hateful comments. And if this is true, obviously it's terrible and I think people need to be held accountable, but it's not equally as sad, but it's also hard to see another one of my childhood idols be demonized online. And I'm not saying that, you know, if this is true, she shouldn't be held accountable, but this comment, as example, written by your mom, says, go ahead and join them. It's a bunch of Minecraft hoes. And what I think is really problematic, and I've seen some other creators actually talk about this, is the way that, again, it's not proven, but if it is true, theoretically, if it is, right, people are just demonizing Leah Ashe. They're just like, oh, Leah Ashe, you're such a home wrecker. The phrase I like to use here is it takes 2 to tango, okay? It's not like she was just like, hey there, come here, and he couldn't do anything about it. Like, you know, and, you know, when someone has a quote, when people are using the word an affair, that's not just a one-time thing, right? We're not talking about just like one singular time. It's an ongoing, consistent misuse of trust, like, you know, pushing boundaries, of having inappropriate contact, stuff like that. Like, that's what an affair is, and that's what people are calling this. I don't know if it's true. Again, this is just speculation, so please keep that in mind. But I think it's unfair for people to be portraying this as it's 100% Leah Ashe's fault, because if this is true, Zach is also at fault. They both allegedly participated in acts that obviously constituted what people are alleging, right? And so to just put the blame on Leah Ashe, I think is misogynistic, and I think it's sexist. You know, at the end of the day, 2 people are responsible, and I don't think Leah was in a relationship, but I would almost say it's, obviously she was Megan's friend, and is there really, you can't say who's worse, but I think it's, on both levels, it's an extreme betrayal of trust. Like, insane. Your best friend and your husband, which my fiance personally is my best friend, so I guess it's kind of like your 2 best friends, like the 2 people that are closest to you, right? I think it's unfair. I think that's unfair to Leah. It's unfair to Megan because it's unfair to Zach in the sense that he's not being held accountable for what he has allegedly done. He doesn't escape culpability just because he's a man, right? Like, at the end of the day, it takes 2 to tango, and that's what I have to say about that. That's insane that people are just solely blaming this on Leah. On top of that, there's this video that's resurfaced from Megan's account. And it reads, I caught my boyfriend cheating on me with my best friend, and it was from 6 years ago when they were not yet married, which people are saying is subtle foreshadowing and this aged incredibly poorly, which is terrible. On top of that, Leah's YouTube comment section is an absolute cesspool. This person says, girl, I've defended you since my childhood, but this time, this is not okay. Cheating? This person says, your silence will not protect you. And this person says, I never thought my childhood YouTuber did that. And a main thing or theme that I've seen in this situation is silence. You know, there's some cryptic messages coming out from mainly Megan, but even the subtle messaging with Leah not following Megan anymore and with Leah still following Zach. You know, there's this subtle messaging from basically everybody involved. And, you know, I would think, and maybe I'm wrong, but, you know, example, I'm engaged. If my fiance was being accused of cheating on me, I would be so quick to get online and be like, that's not true, that never happened, this is not true. Especially if it was my best friend, right? And so I feel like if this wasn't true, especially since they have a kid together, Megan would be like, no guys, like this isn't true, but she's posting these very cryptic TikToks and responding to comments in a way that alludes that something has happened. So that's why I err on the side that something has obviously occurred and this isn't just a PR stunt. And to be fair, a lot of the time, the best way to avoid getting canceled is just not talking about it. If you ignore it, people just forget about it. The second you make a response video, people have more content to fish from, they have more content to clip, they can make more commentary videos on it, and you know, it just makes the situation typically 10 times worse. Now, if you've done something terrible, like you said the N-word or something, right? And you make an apology, that's needed. But you know, if stuff is just rumors and stuff like that going around, people probably won't speak on it, but I am curious to know if Leah Ashe will talk on this. I feel like that won't necessarily make the situation better. If she's doing what people have claimed she's done, there's no reason speaking out because it's not going to fix the problem. But if she hasn't done it, I think she needs to defend herself. Be like, no, this isn't true. But at the end of the day, this is obviously a very sticky situation because there's a lot of people involved and there's a child in the middle of it, which I think is incredibly unfair, right? So please be mindful of what you're saying because again, the child could eventually see your comments and videos and that's not fair to them. On top of that, under this video, there is a comment that says, I'm praying these rumors are true. And this person responded by saying they unfollowed each other and apparently her husband unfollowed Megan but still follows Leah. That is true. I searched that on Instagram. That is accurate. Which is crazy because again, his last photo is of Megan, but he follows Leah. Hello? And this comment reply by Megan says, well, do I have bad news for you? Now, I'm not sure if this is real. This could be faked. I didn't take the screenshot, so keep that in mind. Altogether, though, this is obviously an incredibly sticky situation. Now, on top of that, earlier today, I thought Megan was going to release a video talking about the situation, and I'm going to put a picture on the screen, but it looked like it was a discussion video. It looked like one of those videos where YouTubers be like, guys, it's time to address the rumors. And to be fair, like this is much more than rumors. These are life-altering accusations that completely destroy a family, which I think is terrible for everybody involved, specifically the child, but also Megan, right? And this comment, or this video that she posted, it looked like she was going to talk about it, and then she started going on about hydras in Adopt Me and how they scare her. And I thought, that's weird. I'm gonna be honest, maybe it's just me being like reaching. Maybe I'm just being delirious, crazy, and I'm not trying to like spread fabrications. But I feel like after posting 3 cryptic TikToks in a row and reposting content saying that you're struggling, and then to post a video of Adopt Me talking about a hydra, I went ahead and I searched up what a hydra meant. And somebody under the same video commented, is the rumors true? And she replied, which I took the screenshot, yes, hydras do in fact scare me. I mean, they're dragons with 3 heads. And so I went ahead and I thought maybe this is code word for something, and I searched up a hydra. And again, I could be reaching, guys, but I feel like I'm onto something, and maybe I'm just crazy. My bad, but it reads, a hydra is a many-headed serpent, many-headed, that's hard to say, serpent from Greek mythology, while a hydra dragon typically refers to a dragon with multiple heads. Now, what's interesting here is a serpent, the reference to a serpent, and usually when somebody's fake or two-faced or they're a liar or they're just deceptive, you'll call them a snake. You'll be like, oh my god, that girl's such a snake. Isn't that interesting that her best friend has allegedly cheated with her husband and she's now talking about this mythological creature that has to do with snakes? Very interesting. And then it says it symbolizes concepts like persistent challenges or a struggle against evil. The term Hydra Dragon is used to describe a creature that combines features of a Hydra and a dragon, and then it talks about how it presents a significant power or threat. And so this in my mind, I'm like, okay, she's obviously struggling. She's put that out publicly that she's going through a hard time, but she's resilient. And down here, there's more meanings for a Hydra. It says, a symbol of difficult or never-ending challenge. The most common interpretation is that a Hydra dragon represents a problem or an evil that multiplies when you try to fight it directly, like the myth of the Hydra being a persistent and dangerous adversary. This sounds like a perfect analogy for cheating and going through a hard time with your best friend and your husband, like a never-ending challenge that just seems to get worse the more you try to deal with it, because I think that's what we're seeing is that I would assume this has been something that has happened a long time ago, and we're just now kind of seeing little bits of it online. But I do think, like, typically, just from, I guess, my knowledge from experiences that I've had, like, cheating is, you know, something that feels like it never ends, because the pain from it and just, you know, the mistrust that you develop and how difficult it becomes to trust other people is something that is incredibly challenging. It's something that is very difficult to overcome, which I think is obviously what this is referring to, in my opinion. And on top of that, there's a symbol of resilience. Now, when we talk about a symbol of resilience, the Hydra's ability to regrow its heads can also be a symbol of endurance and resilience in the face of overwhelming adversity. And in her Instagram post, she alluded that she was being resilient, she was going to keep going, and she posted pictures of her child with her. So that is, again, another symbol that kind of correlates to this Hydra that she was talking about in her video. On top of that, it's an embodiment for multifaceted evil. Some interpretations see the many heads as representing different forms of evil, and the creature as a whole embodying a force that cannot be defeated with a single effort. That sounds like cheating to me. Maybe I'm just pulling at strings, I don't know, but, you know, something with many heads. And there's 3 heads, and we have Leah, Megan, and Zach. 3 of them. I feel like the coincidences are just one too many. Like, there's so many that kind of come together, and maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm reaching, but for her to post 3 cryptic TikToks in a row and then all of a sudden jump to this Hydra thing about Adopt Me, I'm like, interesting. It just seems like there's maybe some additional messaging behind it. But regardless, there is a lot going on in the situation, and I think it's unfortunate how many people are just like rushing to the internet to be like, oh my god, this is true, this is 100% true, and he cheated and she did this, now they're getting a divorce, and who's gonna take the kid? Like, could you be any more insensitive to the situation? At the end of the day, everybody in the situation is human, and I'm not condoning cheating or anything like that if that did happen, but regardless, calling people hoes and making nasty comments and commenting on people's appearances and harassing them, and, you know, especially people coming after Megan. Like, Megan, not that anybody should be getting harassed, but Megan is certainly the last person who should be harassed in the situation, because if this is actually something that is happening and something she's going through, she has the child she has to take care of. Can you imagine how stressful that must be to be dealing with all this the internet bugging you and asking you stuff about your intimate relationship with your husband and your best friend not following anymore, and you're trying to juggle raising your child and having a full-time career on the internet. It's like, she can't just take a break from the internet. That's her job. She has to keep making content. Same with Leah Ashe, but Megan has to keep making content and has to keep posting because that is her career. That's how she makes money to support her family, to support her child. And so she can't just escape from the internet controversy or for people making comments about her personal life on the internet. And some could argue, well, you put it on there, you should expect it. And to be fair, she has made some cryptic TikToks. If she hadn't done that, I think, like, I wouldn't have made the video, because it's like, well, it's just rumors, it's hearsay, how can you prove it? But with Megan coming out and, you know, from the screenshots that I took, liking certain comments and alluding to stuff and using, in my opinion, almost like these analogies for what she's dealing with, I think is very telling in this situation. I'm really holding out hope that this is just some messed up PR stunt and they're, you know, just trying to get more views on their channel for a little bit, and that this was all organized and planned. But typically when you have a PR stunt, like, I think they would just be like, guys, we're not friends anymore. We're not friends. As opposed to saying that her husband cheated with her best friend. I feel like that's like that'd be a really intense PR stunt, and like something that just isn't good for public image. But regardless, honestly, I don't fully know if this is true or not. I think we'll have to wait for more information to come out, but please, guys, don't anybody coming out, unless they're Megan, Leah, or Zach, saying they know with 100% certainty what has happened, please don't take that as gospel, because at the end of the day, if people aren't willing to name their sources and people aren't willing to, you know, discuss how they found that information, if nobody is directly related to the situation, they cannot say with 100% certainty that something has happened, because the only people that know that for sure is Megan, Leah, and Zach. Anyways, but regardless, please, guys, enough of the misogynistic and sexist comments. At the end of the day, it takes 2 to tango. You know, sure, if this is true, Leah did something terrible, but so did Zach, and people not holding Zach accountable and just, you know, blasting Leah, I think is unfair. Like, come on now. But regardless, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments section below. Please be mindful of what you're saying about anybody, because people are human and they might see the comments and it's just not kind to be nasty. But anyways, and please don't just over dramatize this for just content. And like, I've seen people making videos being like, oh, the kid's up for adoption, oh, this is happening, they're getting divorced, she's kicking him out of the house. Like, chill. If you want to make content about the situation, I feel like that's fair. It's an online thing, you're allowed to talk about it, but just do so respectfully, where you're not tearing people down and spreading misinformation. But anyways, I did my absolute best to share accurate information based on screenshots and evidence that I have found. If it was speculation, I let you guys know that. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.